Shalom, shalom, Hebrews and Shebrews. Yeah, I didn't do my show this morning at 10 o'clock. I apologize to Israel. I ain't been feeling too hot. But God willing, I will be doing a show tomorrow. So it'll be a double header, kind of like how me and Kazak did last time, a few weeks ago, when he did his at his normal time on Monday. And I did mine earlier that day. So y'all still be on the lookout for that. But I wanted to show y'all something. I couldn't just let it go completely blank today. Being that today is, y'all know that day, Easter. Look at that. And they starting to foul out now. Y'all see that? Them Sunday church ain't letting nothing stop them, Joe, from dealing with their little holiday. Y'all see it? I mean, it was just way more than that. It was packed. They leaving up out of there now. So I brought that up because it's perfect. Shalom, Obadiah. Shalom, Azza. Yeah, I got your message, bro. I got all y'all messages, brothers. I'm okay, man. This veteran life catching up with me, though. But, you know, let's just all pray for each other. I'll be good. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, again, I apologize for not being able to do the lesson as scheduled this morning. But look at that, though. Y'all see them? Ain't nothing stopping they flow, Joe. And you gotta love the zeal in our people, though. Like, we gotta learn to be a little more compassionate, man. You know, we can warn the people, but still try to understand where they coming from. Now, if they just ain't trying to hear you, that's one thing. But we got family members in these churches right now, and you don't love them no less. Look at that. They gonna serve their God. They think it's the same God of the Bible, but hey, that's what we here for, you know? And that leads me to what would be perfectly appropriate, because it really been hitting me like a brick the last few years, but especially this year. Now, all of y'all that's been in Israel, we've been talking about this. Have y'all know, I mean, we all talk about how it's been tripped out. This year in particular, now we know we got camps that keep the Passover and the feast different times. It's usually a couple of weeks apart, but due to the moon cycles. So it's going according to how everyone calculates the moon cycle. But it's far, so I don't get down on brothers and sisters who don't do it at the exact same time we do it, because I'm looking at the sincerity of everybody trying to get it right? But here's the tripped out thing. I'm going to try not to make this too long, because I am going to do a lesson tomorrow. But I just want to point something out to y'all. Okay, we always say that this is modern day Rome. So we say things until the Lord actually smack us to say, look, yes, it's exactly modern day Rome. Now, I say that to say, they having a ball too. Got the little Easter dresses on. Ooh, I can't lie, I can't stand them hats though. Them Easter hats, all them big hats. Man, I be wanting to fight when I see them hats. But look, right? So, back to modern day Rome, right? Okay, it's been a thing that we've commonly said in Israel for a long time. And it's not something I made a big dispute out of, because some people could look at it and say it really don't matter. But it always irked my spirit in Acts chapter 12, verse 4, where it called it Easter. And the explanation was always, yeah, that's a mistranslation, you know, because it comes from the Hebrew word Pesach. Y'all know, y'all have all heard this. You can even Google some of this stuff, and I'm going to tell you where they getting slick, though, because something with it still didn't sit back. So it didn't sit right with my spirit. So some always, you know, so that we was always taught, and there's nothing wrong with this. It just sounded like a good explanation at the time, that if you're dealing with the KJV, that it says Easter in Acts chapter 12, verse 4, because it comes from the translation Pesach, which is the Hebrew word for Passover. That sounds good and all, right? Until every year, I start noticing a common thing, right? What's today? Easter Sunday. What was yesterday? It was the 7th day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. When you go back and read Acts chapter 12, verse 4, people always read that verse where it say they intended the soldiers. I'm paraphrasing. Y'all go read it right now because I'm on the road traveling. So when you read it, it said that the quadrants they sent was to hold. Basically, they wanted to present Peter before them after Easter. And so it's funny, if you just start in the 3rd verse, the one up over that one, it literally say it was the Feast of Unleavened Bread already. So hold on. How could Easter be Passover if they saying they already got him doing Feast of Unleavened Bread and they intended to bring him out after Easter? See, no. It's exactly like it is today. We just had the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but the Romans, the Greco-Romans, had Easter, which comes from their fertility goddess. All you got to do is look it up in history. They celebrate the fertility goddess, if you want to say Ishtar, a star day, whichever version, right? They would be celebrating that time right around the time that the Israelites would be celebrating Passover and then Feast of Unleavened Bread. Ain't nothing changed. It done came back full circle, y'all. So we just finished the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and it's going right into the Romans' day of Easter. So it's not saying that the Israelites were celebrating Easter. If you go back and read it in Acts chapter 12, start at verse 1, and it makes it clear. In verse 3, they had him during the Israelite Feast of Unleavened Bread. So Passover had already passed. And they said they was going to present him during Easter, which is their Roman. So they killing 2 birds with 1 stone. They like, well, want to bring them forth during their feast. And we want to be able to finish our feast, which starts a day after theirs end, which is our fertility goddess. That's what that is. So you got the contrast of 2 cultures. Rome and Israel. The Romans wasn't keeping Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread, but they was keeping Ishtar. They was keeping Easter. They was keeping a star day. And you can see these type of things in the Bible when they even, it's times enough when they do mention pagan gods, because it lets you know when Israel went off and was dealing with it. But that ain't what they're saying. It's literally the exact same today in modern day Rome. Man, how you doing? So, for example, say they would have locked us up or locked me up a few days ago. The Roman society, the Gentiles, would have said, hey, it's the Feast of Unleavened Bread, that's verse 3. Let's hold him until after Easter, which would be today, after our feast. It ain't even all that deep. And see, I know we get into the translation thing, and I'm not saying that you gotta just read the KJV, but this is an opponent for it because the book Undisputed, it been around forever, right? But like them NIVs and ESVs is hot garbage. I'm just keeping it real. Because if you notice, most of the ones that will say, call that Passover, they literally was written fairly recently. They was written fairly, some dude in the basement wrote that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't come from nobody with no power in the nation like that. So I just want to point that, and like I say, it's still people that's gonna believe, because I see it all the time. I had people send me information, see, look, it was a mistranslation and all that. But what I'm telling you is it don't make sense. Because if it was a mistranslation, that's saying Passover come after Feast of Unleavened Bread. Like, this ain't even that deep. It really ain't that deep. Passover, unless you saying that they messed it up and they believe that Easter came out. Like, you could see that again in another verse in the New Testament where it mentions Passover after the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but it mentions it generically, like at one time we used to call the whole feast Passover. This is how people started talking because they so, hey, how y'all doing? Because they were so used to it. Or sometimes it'll just say the feast week. But in that occasion where it says that all you got to do is keep reading, y'all. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. I believe it's in Mark. All you got to do is keep reading, and then it clears it up and lets you know it was the Passover first, then the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That ain't the case right here. It's telling you they had the man locked up they intended to have him locked up during Feast of Unleavened Bread and bring him before the people after Easter, which is where we at right now. We just had the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and now we at Easter. Modern day Rome has came back full circle. Point blank, period. You see what I'm saying? And it's just tripped out, though, how these people is really like, they ain't letting no pandemic, they ain't letting none of that have nothing to do with, it ain't stopping their flow. You see what I'm saying? It ain't stopping their flow. But I wanted to say this, too, before I got off. And again, God willing, I will be doing a lesson tomorrow. It's so beautiful out here. It's almost 75 degrees. I was tripping putting this sweat on. But, yeah, man, we got to learn to have a little more compassion, Israel. I'm looking at that. Y'all know I posted about that DMX thing yesterday. And I know what some Israelites going to say, because we can be so brutal. Yeah, the man was dealing with them drugs and, that's the lifestyle of it. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, Joe, I don't know if anybody told y'all or not, but I've been in Israel long enough to know this might be a bubble buster to y'all. But we got people in Israel that's still dealing with them demons. Rather it's drugs, rather it's alcoholism, rather they got to smoke a blunt when they first wake up before they even pray to the Most High, which is a form of idolatry. You got people that's still battling with spirits and elements, man. And just because they name got Yisrael, Yasharallah, Israel on the end of it, don't make them no more special than the brother DMX, who in the world and trying to come out of it. I don't know if y'all ever watched any of his concerts, but that brother would literally bust down in the middle of his concerts and start praying and have everybody pray with him in his concert. You see what I'm saying? And how the whole crowd busting out in tears. Now that don't mean the brother had decided to set his life apart. No, he was battling with these spiritual realms, man. But what it do show is he was sincere about knowing that the Most High exists, knowing that it's a God of Israel, and he believed we was them people. He got that Exodus, what is it, Exodus 1:17, Exodus 17, whichever one it is on his neck, talking about us, Israel, being a mighty people coming up out of the land of Egypt. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, exactly, about the Herod thing. That's a real good point, bro. That's a very good point. And that's funny, because if you read the next chapter, yeah, you on point, Marlon. If you read the next chapter in verse 13, it get into that whole Herod thing, because that was when Paul and Barnabas had their thing going on, when he was Saul then. And so, yeah, man. And so, I'm not just saying this for brother DMX because he a celebrity. It's because we all got a DMX in our family. We all got a DMX in our family. And, I like to also give a shout out to my brother Aharon, who lost his beloved mother. And they believe he's still down there at the funeral, having to deal with the funeral or whatever. And a shout out to my brother Chris, who lost his mother just a few weeks ago. I can't name everybody, but Israel been taking losses, man. And so if I didn't name you, I mean you too. It's a sister, I can't think of her name, who just took a loss too, man. And I just say all that to say, I understand what it means by knowledge puffeth up. We can't be so spiritual and so technical with the book that we just ain't no earthly good to our other people. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing to be in this truth, but hey, how y'all doing? Hello. But yeah, man, us as the people, man, Israel can be real cold-hearted sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We could be real cold-hearted, Joe. So I just said that to really tell y'all, to encourage y'all. And as y'all go outside today and see the people running around with their big Easter hats and Easter dresses on, just know this ain't nothing new. Oh, one more thing on a lighter note. I got to have y'all at least laugh a little bit before we get off. I know y'all been seeing that video, man, with Lil Boosie paid this dude to let him smack him for $500, right? And it was for a video. It was for he was shooting a rap video, but he actually smacked him, right, and smacked smoke off of him. And so the question being, would you let somebody smack you for $500, right? I was looking at it on some thread, man, and the comments were so funny, man. I mean, Joe, we are hilarious people. Hey, how y'all doing? And but let me tell y'all something. Listen here, man. We be doing too much for money, Joe. It ain't that serious because I ain't letting nobody smack thunder for me for no $500. Cause first off, what if he smack you and you go partially blind or something? Now you blind in one eye for the rest of your life for $500 funky dollars, which would be gone within probably a few days. You know what I'm saying? Or what if he smack you and your head come off or something? Because you got to think about it. It's cats out here that's just been building up rage. You know, they got a lot on their mind. They trying to be humble. And they done probably just smacked you with like 14 years of meekness. They knocked your nervous system loose or something. You talking about for some $500, man. The moral to this story is, man, you don't let nobody just humiliate you for no financial monetary gain. That's called being a jester in the scriptures. You know how you had the court jesters that just make a fool out of themselves and humiliate themselves for money? And people used to debate that, no, that's not the same as a comedian. Because a comedian is doing that and they getting their money because they actually know that they're funny. Court jesters actually humiliate themselves, you know, for the authority just to get some type of monetary gain. So, nah, man, you don't let nobody slap you, kick you in the eye, or nothing like that for no money. That's just some straight up foolishness. So with that, I say I'm going to read y'all comments, man. Again, I'm glad y'all enjoyed the feast. And if y'all feasting right now, I say all praises, honor, and praise to the Most High. Yeah, they slick like that, man. For sure, and same spirit, beloved, same spirit. Yeah, man, it's the exact same. It's the exact same day, man. It's just came back around like it is now. Feast Easter is literally right after the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Like, it ain't give us no break. It went straight from that into that, and it's the same way it is in Acts 12th chapter. And so, yeah, man, being smacked hair particles out of your skull. You let somebody smack you for $500 if you want to. Mess around and be spitting out chiclets. So, yeah, man, I say shalom, shalom, God willing. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And, yes, y'all, I'm okay. Like I say, man, it's just the old veteran warfare, man. It's starting to catch up with you, brother, man. I got to slow down a little bit. So, yeah, man, I love y'all. And like I say, we got to continue to pray for each other. Peace.